What's up, everybody? This is EsauBlue, and I am back in the house. Well, the Matrix. Last time my video was cut off short. I didn't release the whole video, but it's there. I left the short version there, but I did make a friend. So, figured I'd go out for a mining run today and check out and see what's going on. I don't know if I like all this, the black side off like that. What do y'all think? It aggravates the hell out of me. I don't like that shit. But I don't know. I'll see what happens. Let's go.
Warp drive active.
Okay. I made it here safely. And I found the asteroid that I was going to go ahead and mine. And then I started mining and doing the normal thing that I usually do. I aligned myself with another asteroid and I mined some more. So while I'm sitting out here mining, I need to be, doing my research. And I need to revisit on how to scan. So while I'm sitting here, I figured I'll go ahead and start looking up the basis of scanning, so I can go and start doing some explorer missions like I initially spoke about when I started my new character back a few months ago. So I'm going dark so we all can revisit on the basics of scanning.
Exploration in EveOnline involves scanning down hidden locations to search for valuable loot hidden within them. These sites may be ancient ruins where you uncover relics of the past, or hidden data vaults which you can hack into to retrieve the valuable information within. To begin exploring, you will need a ship fit with the necessary equipment, a core scan probe launcher and 8 core scan probes. You will also need a relic analyzer, a data analyzer, or both, depending on the type of site you're looking for. For this video, we'll fit both types of analyzers. These modules can all be easily purchased via the in-game market. While a core probe launcher can be fit to any ship, it helps to use a ship designed for exploration. These ships will have a bonus to scan probe strength, to make scanning easier, as well as a bonus to relic and data analyzers. You can view the role bonuses of any ship by right-clicking on it and choosing Show Info. Each empire has its own entry-level frigate, designed for exploration. These are the Caldari Heron, Galente Imicus, Amar Magnate, and the aptly named Minmatar Probe. Pick your favourite, fit it up, then undock and begin exploring. Once you're out in space, it's time to start scanning. Open the probe scanner window by clicking the Scanners button on the left-hand side of your capacitor, and then clicking the Probe Scanner. This will open the probe scan window and the solar system map. In the probe scanner window, we're looking for cosmic signatures. These are hidden sites which can only be located by scanning them down. While exploring, you may find it helpful to use the filter in the probe scan window to hide anomalies, which can already be warped to and show as entries in green. If there's a cosmic signature in your system, it's time to start scanning it down. Click the probe launcher module to the right of your capacitor to launch your probes. You will see them appear on the solar system map. Each blue sphere represents the scan range of your individual probes. Now select the anomaly you would like to scan in the probe scan window and reposition your probes to be centered over it in the map. You can move the probes by clicking and dragging the arrows around the sides of the center cube in the solar system map. Remember that space is 3-dimensional, and you'll need to reposition your camera to make sure your probes are properly centered. You can quickly flip between the top and side view by double-clicking on empty space in the map to make this easier. Once your probes are centered, resize them using the slider at the bottom of the probe scan window to fully cover the cosmic signature. When the anomaly is surrounded by your probes, click the Analyze button in the probe scan window to scan it. This will warp all of your probes into position, and they will begin to scan. Once complete, you'll notice that the anomaly shifts position and the signal will increase. This represents your progress in narrowing down the location of the cosmic signature. Now we repeat the process to continue scanning down the signature. Recenter your probes, checking the position both horizontally and vertically, then reduce the size by 1 step and analyze again. Keep doing this until the anomaly is scanned down. Recenter, resize, analyze. Once the cosmic signature has turned green, you've successfully scanned down the site and are now able to warp to it. Now that you have found the site, it's time to start breaking open those containers with your relic or data analyzer for the valuable loot within. We'll cover this process in more detail in the Hacking for Profit video. Once you've reached a relic or data site, it's time to start breaking open those containers for the valuable loot within. Approach a container, lock it up, and activate the relevant module. A relic analyzer for relic sites, or a data analyzer for data sites. When you activate a relic or data analyzer, the hacking screen will open. From here, you need to successfully break the lock in order to open the vault and access the loot within. But note, failing twice will cause the container to explode, taking all of the valuables inside with it. Your goal is to locate and destroy the system core, which is hidden somewhere in the network. Clicking the explorable blue nodes will allow you to proceed to adjacent nodes. However, be warned. Defensive subsystems will be found scattered throughout the network, which will attempt to block your path. You will need to overcome or bypass these security systems in order to reach the core. You may also find utility subsystems, which you can use to get an advantage, as well as data caches, which may contain either helpful utilities or dangerous defenses. In the lower left-hand corner of the window, you'll also see 2 bars for coherence and strength. Coherence can be thought of as your health, while strength represents the damage you do when attacking a node. As you attack defensive subsystems or the system core, you'll take damage to your coherence while damaging the coherence of the node you're attacking. If you reduce the coherence of a defensive subsystem to 0, it will disappear. However, if your own coherence falls to 0, you will fail the hack and be kicked from the network. There are 4 types of defensive subsystems you may encounter while hacking. Firewalls, which have high coherence but low strength. Antivirus, which have low coherence but high strength. Restoration nodes, which heal random defensive subsystems on the network each turn. And virus suppressors, which weaken your strength while active. You generally want to avoid attacking as much as possible until these have been removed from the network. It's generally a good idea to explore further before directly attacking a defensive subsystem, as you may uncover additional helpful utility subsystems, which you can use to overcome them, or even the exposed core if you're lucky. However, due to the disruptive effects of restoration and suppressor nodes, you will want to destroy these immediately. The difficulty of a hacking site is generally determined by the security status of the space you're in. More difficult hacking sites require better equipment, skills, and execution, but can be much more lucrative. In harder sites, defensive nodes will take and deal more coherence damage before being removed. The dangerous restoration and suppressor subsystems are also only found in more difficult sites, so you don't need to worry about them just yet if you're starting off exploring in high security space. As you explore a network, you may also discover helpful utility subsystems along the way. These are tools you can use to gain an advantage in overcoming defensive subsystems and increase your odds of success. The utility subsystems you may encounter are self-repair, which gradually increases your coherence over each turn. You'll want to use these immediately, as there is no maximum coherence value. Kernel rots, which cut the system's coherence in half. Use these to break through high coherence systems such as firewalls. Polymorphic shields, which nullify the next 2 attacks against you, preventing you from losing coherence. Use this before attacking high-strength systems, such as an antivirus. And secondary vectors, which reduce a system's coherence over time. You'll want to use these to augment attacks against key targets, particularly to wear down suppressor nodes while your virus strength is reduced, without having to attack them directly. As you explore, you may also uncover data caches. They may either contain a helpful utility subsystem or a dangerous defensive one. Because there's no way to know what a data cache contains before opening it, it's generally recommended to only open these as a last resort, when you might otherwise fail without a utility subsystem to give you a needed edge. You now know the basics of the hacking process. Click through the network, revealing nodes as you go, and try to find and destroy the system core without letting the defensive subsystems destroy you first. Here you can see we're exploring the network and find that we've hit a firewall. We continue exploring before attacking it, finding a repair which we can use immediately to gain extra coherence. Then, once other routes have turned up empty, we attack the firewall, overcoming it and revealing the system core behind it. We attack the system core and voila, we've beaten the hack and can now access the container for the valuable loot within. Or opening it, it's generally recommended to only open these as a last resort, when you might otherwise fail without a utility subsystem to give you a needed edge. You now know the basics of the hacking process. Click through the network, revealing nodes as you go, and try to find and destroy the system core without letting the defensive subsystems destroy you first. Here you can see we're exploring the network and find that we've hit a firewall. We continue exploring before attacking it, finding a repair which we can use immediately to gain extra coherence. Then, once other routes have turned up empty, we attack the firewall, overcoming it and revealing the system core behind it. We attack the system core and voila, we've beaten the hack and can now access the container for the valuable loot within. While exploring, you will notice a number appear briefly as you reveal a node. This number indicates the distance to the nearest system core, utility subsystem, or data cache. You can use these to guide you in a potentially useful direction as you explore the network. For example, we can see that this 5 indicates that the core won't be found within 5 nodes of this one, so we should probably continue exploring over to another area of the board. Here we can see that we have a 1, which indicates that there is something potentially interesting nearby. By exploring the surrounding nodes, we find the system core, which we can then successfully destroy and beat the hack. For an extra edge, there's a more advanced technique you can practice while hacking, which is referred to as the Rule of 6. The Rule of 6 simply states that if a node is surrounded by 6 connecting nodes, then it either contains no defensive subsystem or is adjacent to the system core. This means that if you aim for these central nodes, you're less likely to encounter defensive subsystems, and, if you do, you know that the core is nearby, so you don't waste too much time fighting with unnecessary defensive subsystems elsewhere. Trying to reveal these nodes first is a good tactic to improve your chances of a successful hack. The loot contained within relic and data containers can be sold on the market for profit, which you can then use to upgrade your ship and equipment. The loot from relic and data sites is always in demand from industrialists who are trying to use it. The loot from relic sites is salvage, used in the production of ship rigs, and the loot from data sites is generally used for the purposes of inventing T2 blueprints. Now that you understand the basics of hacking, a data analyzer for data site. Defensive damage you do, which have low coherence. The loot contained within relic and data containers can be sold on the market for profit, which you can then use to upgrade your ship and equipment. The loot from relic and data sites is always in demand from industrialists. Once you've reached a relic or data site, it's time to start breaking open those containers for the valuable loot within. Approach a container, lock it up, and activate the relevant module. A relic analyzer for relic sites, or a data analyzer for data sites. Defensive subsystems will be found scattered through.
Warp drive active. Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.